Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to go through another live trade with you guys. So today is Wednesday, February 23rd. I did take these trades today. I will probably post this video towards the end of the week, but I took SPX puts today and I'll go through one of the trades that I took. I only took two trades today, but they were both really high probability trades. The first one that I took does have multiple kind of strategies that you could potentially implement into just one scalp, and I'd like to go through that with you guys just to kind of show you kind of the different strategies you can implement into just this one trade, because there was a lot of different technical indicators and price action around the stock that made this a high probability trade. So I want to go through this with you guys. It was a very quick scalp, about 5 minutes, and I made around $25,000. Now, a lot of you asked me how much I sized and so on and so forth, and I'll go through that with you guys in this video, but I don't want you to focus on how much money I make. Yeah, sometimes I post that in the thumbnails to catch attention and whatnot. But overall, when I do these videos, I want you guys to get the gist of the strategy and how to implement that into your trading. You can trade all of these stocks. Even if you have a smaller account, you would just trade 1 or 2 contracts versus 10 or 30 contracts. You would still be making the same percentage gain on that smaller account. So don't focus too much on, oh, she's trading 30 contracts or 40 contracts. I can't do that. Yes, you can. You can trade 1 contract or 2 contracts, depending on the account size that you have. So that being said, I just don't want you guys to get discouraged when you see traders with bigger accounts making bigger, gains. That doesn't mean that you can't make the same percentage gain. Just understand that you're trading on a smaller account, so your gains, your P&L is not going to look the same. So don't focus so much on the P&L. Focus on the strategy that you're trying to implement and the highest probability scalps or day trades or swing trades that you could potentially take per your account size. So hopefully that little rant made sense, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So my watch list today, these were all the stocks that I was watching. I was waiting for SPX to actually gap up or down at open prior to determining my levels. When it did open up, I was watching SPX above 43.40 and then below 43.25. Below 43.25, SPX actually had a gap to fill, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that right now. So here you go, right here below 43.25, SPX had the after hours gap that it made, so it had gapped up from the previous day, and I was looking for it on the downside. Below 43.25 for the gap fill, and then above 43.40 for it to be able to break to the upside. So SPX did end up breaking to the downside with the overall market. Market did sell off today, like I said, and I took 2 trades on SPX. I'll go through the one that I want to show you. So basically, this is one of the strategies that you can implement when you're trading and you're scalping, especially even if it's a day trade. Sometimes Amazon had a gap to fill today. It was on a daily time frame though, so gaps can happen on multiple time frames. So a stock usually gaps if they had earnings, if there's news. SPX always tends to gap up or down depending on how much the market moves in the after hours and pre-market. So I always like to catch, recently since I've been trading SPX, I really like to catch that gap fill. So it's a very, very easy, high probability setup that usually plays out really well if the market has decent sentiment behind it and the market has direction. When the market is choppy and doesn't have direction, sometimes these are a little bit harder to play. However, like I said, you can find gaps on any time frame. So you can find a gap on the 1 minute, 5 minute, daily, weekly time frame. So if I show you guys here, I did post this on Instagram the other day as well. Amazon had a gap to fill on the daily time frame. So if you see here, hold on, let me remove these. So you can see here Amazon's gap from 3,000 all the way down to around 28.80. It did end up filling that gap pretty much all day today. So the whole candle, so this is a daily candle here on Amazon, it filled the gap all the way through today. Even if we go ahead and look at it for today, you can see here went from 3,000 all the way down to around 2,900, and then after hours it fell towards that, filled that rest of that gap after hours. So like I said, a gap can happen on any time frame and the stock can fill it in any span of time. for a stock like Amazon, it does move in bigger increments, so it can fill a daily gap in one day. If it was a stock like Nvidia or Apple, sometimes the daily gap will take a few days before it's able to fill it all the way through. So just make sure that you are implementing the gap fill strategy per the stock's price action and how it usually moves, and you're analyzing that prior to taking a trade, because sometimes a gap fill can be a day trade, a swing trade, or a scalp. You just have to analyze how quickly the stock moves and on what time frame you're seeing that gap. So like I said, I've been liking SPX's gaps after hours. Right when it opens in the market and it gaps up or down, it is really a high probability, easy play to take. And that's really what I've been playing recently. So I'll show you guys the gap fill that I took today. And then if we have time, I'll show you the second scalp I took on SPX as well. So like I said, I was looking for SPX below 43.25. So let's go ahead and look at the video. So right now it's around 9 o'clock. I started recording pretty early so I didn't forget. So I'm going to forward this to market open. I don't remember exactly when I entered. Hold on, I have it up here. So I entered almost around 10 o'clock. So market was pretty choppy for the first half an hour. So let's forward this. All right, so it looks like I entered at 9:53. Let me look at. So I did call this in our Discord as well. So you can see here at 9:53, I entered SPX puts. My first profit target was 43.20 and then 43.10. 43.10 was towards the end of that gap fill. The pre-gap level was 43.05. So for SPX to fill the gap all the way down, it would hit 43.05. My target on it was 43.10. I usually like to play every 10 points on SPX. So 43.20 and 43.10, and my stop loss on this was 43.30. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video. 53. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so it's 9:50 here and 3 now. I entered my SPX. So you can see SPX chart here. It's right at 43.25. I'm waiting. I'm literally have my order ready. I'm waiting to press the hotkey once it breaks 43.25, because SPX can break very quickly. You need to be very quick with your scalps and make sure that you get the most optimal entry when you're trying to enter it, because like I said, it could be very, very quick. It literally breaks and it moves like 10 points. So you have to be very fast. And there you go. I filled in once it broke 43.25. It's at 43.23 now. And it's 9:53. I filled in, and the price that I filled in at was $24.36. So each contract cost me $24.36. All right, you can see SPX's chart on this thing. I usually like to see the premium chart, so you can see I switched it over to see the premium chart, and it's going to load in a second. But as that loads, I want to kind of show you guys what I was watching. So whenever I watch SPX, I watch ES. So you can see ES here right at open. It was a little bit choppy within the first probably 30 minutes of market open. So this was 9:30 all the way to around 9:45. On this 9:50 candle, you can see that ES breaks below its VWAP. It's 9 and 21 day EMAs. You get the VWAP and EMA cross here. So whenever the VWAP crosses above the EMA, signifies a downtrend. And we can see here clear downtrend on ES. So for ES, every 10 points is usually a strong support level, but I had 4,300 as my kind of price target on ES and where I thought it was going to hit. So I was watching 4,300 for ES, and then obviously SPX's gap fill. My first target was 43.20 and then 43.10. So let's look at this. And I don't know if this chart is going to load. So I held this position for about 15 minutes. Okay, so again, you can see SPX's charts coming down nicely. For some reason, the premium chart was taking forever to load. on my IB, which I'm not sure why. That's why you can see me clicking back and forth, because I'm trying to get the premium chart to load up. That's usually what I like to watch, because I like to get out on that premium spike, like I said. So I'd like to show you guys what SPX was doing when I entered. So I entered at 9.53. This was my entry candle, breakout of 43.25. You can see a clean breakout here. Now ES at the same time, so you can see ES right at in the morning. It was pretty choppy at 9.50, which I entered at the 9.53 candle. At 9.50 here, you can see ES break below its VWAP, and the VWAP crosses above its 9-day and 21-day EMA. Whenever your VWAP crosses above your 9 and 21-day EMAs, it usually signifies a downtrend. ES breaks out of that little squeeze in the morning, and we can see a strong downtrend. Now, I was watching ES to hit 4,300 and for SPX to end up filling this gap as ES approaches 4,300. Now, you can see here at around 9.55, and this is the 9.55 candle on ES. ES started to pull back, taking SPX with it. Now, it did pull back, and I did get caught in this pullback. However, I didn't get shaken out, because whenever a stock breaks out of your level, and that level is now going to be a potential retest level for your stock. So 43.30 was my stop loss. However, I know that whenever a stock, like I said, breaks out, it can potentially retest that breakout level, and that's exactly what SPX did, and it usually does. So whenever you get caught in a pullback like this, watch the retest level, watch the breakout level that you had for a retest, and you can see clean retest here on the 43.25 level. SPX was never able to hold above it on the 1 minute time frame, and you can see rejection and clear move back down to continue to fill that gap. Same thing with ES. The 5 minute candle did wick up, however sellers stepped back in, pushed futures back down, and you can see here market ended up continuing down. So I exited SPX at 10.09. So I caught the entire gap fill. I exited SPX at this candle right here, 10.09. Once it hit the 43.05 gap level. So that was the pre-gap level. Ended up filling the entire gap, and I caught the entire gap play there. Really nice, strong probability, high probability play here, and you can see it on the 5 minute as well. Same thing that ES did on the 5 minute, SPX did, wicked up. Seller stepped back in, pushed it back down, and you can see clean action on the 5 minute until right at that, like I said, I exited at 10.09 at this 10 candle. I'm sorry, I exited at 10.09, so on this 5 minute candle push down is when I exited. It hit 43.05. It cleared two of my price targets. My first price target was 43.20. My second price target was 43.10. Once it hit 43.10, I had a strong inclination that SPX would continue to fill the rest of the gap because it only had 5 more points. ES was still looking bearish. Clean 5 minute trend, downtrend. And you can see on the 5 minute, it did break below its 9-day and 21-day EMA as well. And we can see it touch 43.05 perfectly. So let's go ahead and watch it. So now it's 9.55 here. Like I said, I exited this at 10.05. Here's the premium chart. It finally loaded up. So I entered at 24.36. So I'm going to show you when it did pull back. So when it pulled back, you can see the premium did pull back, and I was trading 0 DTE, so the premiums were really volatile. It did pull back, but like I said, I don't like to pay attention too much because to my P&L and how much I'm down. I like to pay attention to the stock's price action in the chart, because once you pay attention to your P&L, you're not only focused on being red this much and you're like, wow, I have to get out because I'm so red, instead of focusing on the price action of the stock and what the stock is telling you. And it's SPX was clearly telling us that it was just retesting. It needed a breather for a second prior to continuing its downtrend. The trend was still in place, which was bearish, so there's no reason for me to exit this trade. Now you can see when it does pull back, the premium dropped to around $22, and I was red on this play. However, I was not concerned. I was concerned mostly about the chart and making sure that ES rejected as well, which it did. SPX was holding that retest level. Clear movement down here, and let's keep looking. So right now it's 9.58, and there you go at 9.59, which is this candle right here. Okay, rejection of 43.25. The premium jumps at that 9.59 candle. Premium jumps right back up. I am back green on the play now. So even in that 1 minute time frame where you would have exited because you got shaken out and you weren't paying attention to the stock's price action, the premium flipped very quickly. So make sure that you're always watching the price action of the stock and not watching your P&L. So the only reason that I watch the premium chart is to make sure that I get out on the spike, on the top of the spike of the candle. I did inform my Discord to lock most of their profit once it hit 43.10 because that was my second profit target. Okay, we're at 10:02, so I'm going to forward some of this because I don't want to watch all of it. There you go. Premium spikes almost to $31 at 10:03, 10:04. So it did pull back here. Premium was very volatile. Like I said, it was a 0 DTE play, so the premium was moving very fluctuating a lot just because of the fact that each time it would pull back even slightly like this, the premium would take a loss. And then once it came back down, because of that high IV and the volatility, premium picked it right back up. So that's why I wasn't watching my P&L like that, because you want to pay attention to what the stock is doing. And as long as the stock is following the trend below the 9 and 21 day EMA, no reason for you to really exit your play. Follow the play all the way through. I was following the gap fill all the way through, ended up catching a pretty decent play here. So all right, here is, whoops, sorry, I want to see you guys. So it's 10:08 here, about 30 seconds left. Premium jumped to around $32 here, and now I should have locked right here instead of waiting for the next candle to open up, because the premium spiked to almost $32. However, I still caught a pretty good decent play here. Candle opens and I exit here. There you go, there's my exit. So I exited when the premium hit $33. I exited at 10:09. Once the 10:09 candle opened, I sold all of my position. So the premium went from $24.36 to $33, and I made around a $25,000 profit on this. Now, so you can see here, SPX hit that 43.05 level when I exited at 10:09. So to put this into perspective for people with smaller accounts, say you had just one contract on SPX, you would have paid $2,436 for one contract. That contract would have went up to $3,300, which means you would have made around a $900 profit and a 40% ROI. So still a very high probability trade here. Just one contract would have made you $900 profit in around 15 minutes trade, in around a 15-minute trade. So don't look at it as, oh, I can't make that profit. You can. It's the same amount of profit on a smaller scale. So don't look at it as, I can't do that because she's trading with more money. Hopefully this made sense for you guys. Nice little gap fill play here. Futures was showing a nice little downtrend, and SPX clear gap fill here. Hopefully this made sense. And all right guys, so that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and follow my social media pages. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.